Hi, I'm Manny Sid, Police Chief with the Culver City Police Department. In our commitment to being open and transparent, we are sharing this critical incident video briefing to provide you with the information of an officer-involved shooting that occurred on the afternoon of August 3rd, 2020. As a part of this video briefing, you will be shown surveillance footage as well as video footage from the responding officer's body-worn cameras. You will also hear the 911 call and radio traffic from our dispatch center. We hope this provides you with a better understanding of what occurred during this incident based on how we know it at this time.
I'm Community Relations Officer Marissa Yabko. In this video briefing of the officer-involved shooting, you will see footage from several of our officers' body-worn cameras. It is department policy for all officers to wear body-worn cameras while working in the field and to activate them while interacting with the public. Per policy, body-worn cameras are required to be worn in front of the officers' uniforms and above the belt line. It should be noted that body-worn cameras capture only one perspective, and the angle of the body-worn camera prohibits viewers from seeing everything the officer sees and experiences. A word of caution: the images and information you are about to see may be disturbing. When police officers use force to arrest a suspect, defend themselves or others from an attack, and/or protect the community, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers. On August 3rd, 2020, at approximately 2:26 p.m., Culver City police officers received a radio call to respond to a parking structure located at 8850 Washington Boulevard regarding a man that was armed with a knife. This 6-level parking structure is adjacent to the platform, a large outdoor shopping center with numerous offices, shops, and restaurants. This is the initial 911 call taken by our dispatch center, along with a video of the suspect entering an elevator on the first floor of the parking structure.
Dispatch, how can I help you?
Is this the Culver City Police?
Yes.
So I'm here at Secure Platform. We have a guy here who opened some water sprinklers and he has a knife.
What theaters were you at?
Platform?
What's the address?
8850 Washington.
Okay, so 8850 Washington Boulevard in the city of Culver City?
Yes, 8850.
Where on the property is he? Where on the property is he, sir?
So I'm on the parking garage on the 6th floor, the left there.
Is he threatening anyone with it?
No, he would close the door, leave me, I'll take care of it. Then we saw he has a knife, we backed up.
Where was the knife?
He's the one who opened it.
Where did he lock himself in it?
And on some stairs in the back, and he just closed the door on us.
Is it like a stairwell?
Yeah, in the stairwell.
Is it a homeless guy?
He seems like it. He has some, yeah. He has the fire extinguisher. That's what he's using.
The suspect was later identified as Jesse Van Loozen, a 34-year-old white male with a criminal history who was on probation for robbery. After entering the elevator on the first level of the structure, Mr. Van Loozen made his way to the top level of the 6-level parking structure and entered a stairwell. Once in the stairwell, Mr. Van Loozen ruptured a water pipe within the stairwell, caused a large amount of water to flood the stairwell and spill out onto the entrance of the top level of the parking structure. The Culver City Fire Department was also dispatched to the call regarding flooding and arrived on scene before our police officers. This is the initial radio call for service being dispatched to Culver City police officers by our dispatch center.
South Bay 2 for Adam 2, David.
Adam 2, David.
417 at the platform, 8850 Washington Boulevard. There's a male subject with a knife in the parking structure on the 6th floor. He's not threatening anyone with it.
For Adam 2, David, copy. Who's our team call?
David, we'll handle from the station. You can clear 2, David.
10-4, 2, David, 1022.
For Adam 2, David, copy. Thanks, sir.
South Bay 2 for Adam 1, David. The RP has been employed advising the subject is a transient that has locked himself in the stairwell. At the top floor, he's a male white, late 20s, wearing a black shirt and underwear.
Copy.
While our police officers were en route to the call, they were informed by dispatch that Mr. Van Loozen had locked himself in a stairwell and that the fire department had requested a Code 3, or immediate emergency response, as Mr. Van Loozen had been seen in possession of a knife.
In South Beta 4 Adam 1 David, the fire department was out there for a commercial fire alarm, and they're requesting PD Code 3 for the man with the knife.
1-2 David, we'll be responding from the station.
10-4.
At approximately 2:30 p.m., 4 minutes after receiving the initial call, Culver City police officers arrived on scene. At approximately 2:32 p.m., Culver City police officers attempted to make contact with Mr. Van Loozen via the entrance to the stairwell on the top level of the structure, as well as from a lower level entrance to the stairwell.
We have a sub there. We're attempting to make contact with the subject at the rooftop of the apartment structure. So they're going to be in the stairwell.
Hey, just come out slowly. All we want to do is talk. We want to help you.
Somebody responding Code 3.
Hey, just come out slowly. We want to help you. We're not here to hurt you.
After several minutes, Mr. Van Loozen activated the fire alarm and briefly exited the door on the top level of the structure with a fire extinguisher in his hand. Moments later, Mr. Van Loozen re-entered the stairwell and closed the door.
He's pulled the fire alarm, and he also has a fire extinguisher with him.
He's blowing a fire extinguisher down.
Yeah. One of you is the primary guns.
One of our department's mental health evaluation officers arrived on scene and attempted to talk with Mr. Van Loozen through the stairwell door.
You got what?
Yes, I do, sir. I worked till 30 minutes. I'm not afraid of anything. I had an assassination hit.
There were several other officers directly outside the stairwell door as well, one of which was armed with a 40mm projectile launcher. This weapon shoots a foam projectile and is used as a less lethal force option.
Yeah, from we see him. We're between the 4th and the 5th floor in the stairwell. And we got eyes on him holding the door. Is that something in his left hand?
Yeah.
Drop!
They have officers on the other side of that door.
Drop what you have! Hey, he's got a pipe.
At approximately 2:49 p.m., Mr. Van Loozen abruptly exited the entrance to the stairwell on the top level of the structure with a knife in one hand and a pipe in the other, and charged at the officers. At this point, an officer-involved shooting occurred.
Hey, watch out, knife!
2 of our officers fired their handguns at Van Loozen, striking him multiple times. An additional officer fired a 40mm launcher, which also struck Mr. Van Loozen. In this frame-by-frame breakdown from the officer's body-worn camera, you can see Mr. Van Loozen abruptly exit the door, armed with both a knife and a pipe. You can hear the officers immediately verbalize that Mr. Van Loozen is armed with a knife as Mr. Van Loozen charges them holding the knife in his right hand. The officer-involved shooting occurs and Mr. Van Loozen falls to the pavement. He drops both the knife and pipe, and no additional shots are fired.
Hey, watch out, no! Shots fired, shots fired.
Immediately after the shooting, the officers on scene rendered medical aid to Mr. Van Loozen until Culver City Fire Department personnel arrived on scene. Mr. Van Loozen was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. This is a relatively recent photograph of Mr. Van Loozen, along with a photograph of the knife and the pipe that were recovered by investigators at the scene of the shooting. During this incident, a Culver City police officer was accidentally shot by a fellow officer. The injured officer was transported to a local hospital where they were treated and later released. The injured officer is recovering at home.
Per Culver City Police Department policy and practice, when an officer-involved shooting occurs, there are 4 separate independent investigations that are conducted by the following entities. First, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department will conduct a thorough criminal investigation of the entire incident, which will focus on the suspects and officers' actions during the officer-involved shooting. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office will conduct an independent investigation to determine if the officer's use of deadly force was legally justified. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office will conduct a parallel investigation with the Sheriff's Department and District Attorney's Office, which may include an autopsy and pathology reports. And lastly, the Culver City Police Department's Professional Standards Unit will be responsible for conducting an administrative investigation to determine if the involved officer's actions were justified in accordance with department policy, procedures, and training. Over the next several weeks, these departments will continue to thoroughly investigate this incident. The investigation will include interviewing multiple witnesses, reviewing hours of video footage, and analyzing forensic evidence. Our understanding of the incident may change as additional evidence may surface or as existing evidence is analyzed and reviewed. The investigations will not draw conclusions as to whether the officers acted within policy or the law until all facts are known and the investigation is fully completed. This video is being released prior to the conclusion of the criminal and administrative investigations to share this information with our community about the incident. As with any use of force situation, Culver City police officers are guided by the principle of sanctity for human life. The authority to use force is a serious responsibility and must be exercised judiciously to safeguard the life, dignity, and liberty of everyone. It is a tragedy for everyone involved when an officer-involved shooting occurs, for the decedent, the decedent's family, the officers involved, the police department, and the community as a whole. The job of a police officer is often difficult and dangerous, and although we train and work hard to de-escalate volatile situations, oftentimes, officers must react, sometimes making split-second decisions. Although deadly force is rarely used, it is not something we take lightly, as it is traumatizing for all parties involved. If you'd like to view these videos in their entirety, please submit a public records request to policerecords@culvercity.org or call 310-253-6119. For more information on our use of force policies and procedures, please visit our website to view our department's policy manual. Thank you for taking the time to watch this critical incident community briefing.